Students and staff of Mattoon Community High School gathered today to support one another after the shooting in the school's cafeteria yesterday afternoon. The school reopened today on a shortened schedule, a schedule that didn't include lunch hour in the cafeteria. School district officials say although students were allowed an excused absence today following yesterday's events, between 250 to 300 students still attended today's classes. Those students who chose to stay home today say it was just too painful to come back.
Yesterday was honestly one of the scariest days of my life, and I just felt more safe at home, and I just want to spend some time with my family, and I just didn't really feel safe being able to walk just back through the halls where someone shot someone.
Flannery Sanders is a junior at MHS, and she says she's still shaken up after yesterday's events.
It definitely brought back a lot of memories, and just, I don't know, it just kind of freaked me out seeing all the teachers in there.
Charleston School District Superintendent Todd Villardo says he's offered full support to Mattoon High School.
There are, of course, a lot of high anxieties around such events. So our school community first reacted, like many, out of shock, but then immediately into care for and concern for the Mattoon school community.
Villardo says resources are continuing to be provided to MHS for emotional support.
We did have some of our social workers and counselors and psychologists make the trip to Mattoon to support the students and staff over there who need some help today and in the coming days.
As for Charleston School District, Villardo says the current safety measures will continue to be in place.
Primarily what our focus is on is kids, and making sure that we provide care for kids, and this is a good reminder for us and our school community to be vigilant and watch for suspicious behavior, and encourage our students to report threatening type behavior.
She joins us now with the latest. Good evening, Charlie.
The rain has stopped, but the water is still here. Even though the flooding has closed schools and roads, Villa Grove residents seem unfazed by this year's flooding. I spoke to a couple of residents today about how the water has impacted their daily routines. Villa Grove resident Mike Shepard has lived here for 45 years. Shepard says this year's floods haven't been a problem for him, but previous years have been worse.
It really hasn't. As long as it gives me enough to do if I want to go uptown or whatever and get out of town and come back, still got a way in and out.
30-year resident Mel Rockman says the floods have made walking her dog Moto a challenge.
Oh, we don't go. You know, you can't get out whenever it's raining, and if you want to dry this thing off, you know, it takes about 20 minutes, hair dryer and all.
Rockman says she tries to walk Moto at least 4 times a day.
He's been kind of a jerk about not being able to go outside.
Residents say it doesn't take long for the flooding to go down, but it's the waiting game that's frustrating.
Well, you can see according to where that trash line is, the water was up there and then it started receding back down. It's got to go down to go back out towards the river.
Villa Grove Fire and Rescue says Route 130 has been reopened and the floods are receding, but several side streets like these remain closed. Hunters in Illinois have a new option this deer and turkey season. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner signed a bill into law amending the Illinois Wildlife Code to allow hunters of all ages to hunt with a crossbow. Owner of Stewart's Archery, John Stewart, says this new law is a great way for kids to get involved in the sport.
The kids have to draw a 40-pound pull in order to go deer hunting with it. So the kids can't do that at 7, 8, 9 years old, but they can shoot these crossbows.
Stewart says his son has even taken up crossbow hunting.
My son is 8 years old, Josh, and he shoots crossbow out of this pod here, and this is a dead shot field pod, and he scoots right up it, and he just, it's real deal, you know, and he enjoys shooting it, and it's fun.
And it's that enthusiasm that forced the state to look at changing the rules. Illinois Department of Natural Resources wildlife biologist Doug Brown says the Illinois Wildlife Code has gone through some changes over the years.
Originally it was a means for folks that had a disability to be able to hunt during the archery season. That changed a few years ago to where they were allowed folks that were 62 or over could use a crossbow to harvest deer during the archery season during certain times of the year. And this year, with the change of the law now, anyone who wants to use a crossbow of any age can use a crossbow during the archery season only.
Brown says there are no special permits for crossbow hunting. Instead, crossbows are covered by the current archery permits.
Every single day we come here and I use the internet here so I can look up things and do things that I want to do while she's playing on the playset that they have.
These are just a couple of reasons why Effingham resident Jared Fleming spends his days at the Effingham Public Library. It's also a factor in why the library was nominated for the Leslie B. Noble Award. Effingham Public Library Programming Outreach Manager Catherine Bailey says this award defines the best public library in America.
It's organized by ELGL, which is Engaging Local Government Leaders, and it's a professional association for people that work in local government.
And this isn't the first time Effingham has caught the attention of the Engaging Local Government Leaders Association. Last year, the city was up against a similar award, but for Best City Hall. This year, Effingham is the only Illinois city left in the running.
We made it through the nomination round and we're now in the round of 32. We are up against Kansas City, Missouri's Central Library branch.
Bailey says there's a lot of engagement from the community.
They've really kind of taken it to heart, getting feedback on social media. We have a very active Facebook page, Instagram and Twitter, and it's really heartening for us to hear all the positive comments from our community. It's a chance for them to let communities outside of Illinois know how much they think about this library. It's kind of bragging rights for us as well.
Fleming shares that same view on the Effingham community and public library. He says this library helped him find his love of reading.
I didn't have much experience with reading books before I came here, but they're really good at having all of their organization stuff. Everything's organized perfectly to where you can find for what you want for anybody. And they have all sorts of books, and this whole section right here behind me is where I like to go. I love it here.
In Effingham, I'm Charlee Caudill for WEIU Newswatch.